it just like when I thought about it, I was like, this only makes all of the sense in the world. I don't even understand the idea of, oh, this should have been someone. I don't give a fuck what rapper you guys were going to put in there. Not J. Cole, not nobody. There was nobody that y'all could have put in that I would have been like, yeah, they deserve it more than Kendrick.
I really can't think of another one, right?
If we were going to do a rapper, there is no rapper hotter.
Yeah.
And the industry seems ready to crown Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions I'm going to ask you, by the way.
Okay.
Did Drake turn down the Super Bowl?
I think actually, I found out today.
Okay.
It's confirmed that Rock Nation never presented him with the option to perform the Super Bowl. I think they confirmed that they never did.
Okay, so who the fuck is Elliott Wilson talking to?
Fucking nobody. No one's talking to nobody. That's the other thing. Their sources are as good as ours. You know what I mean? Like
who's Maul talking to?
Well, apparently Drake.
He done turned that motherfucker down like 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Okay, nigga.
You know, Drake was considered for 2020, 2021.
I'll say this: he may not have. I don't know that I don't know if I believe that.
You don't know that you believe that they didn't offer to?
I don't know that I believe that. So because I feel like there's a circumstance where Drake would not have.
Right. You were giving me the knowledge. You were doing the knowledge on this other day.
Yeah.
And I'm actually I wanna rehash this conversation. So go ahead.
Okay. So if we wind the clocks back to 2020, back when
crazy time.
Back when Wayne was saying Black Lives didn't matter.
Wayne was also in the hospital that same year, I think. It was like
it was a lot going on. There was a lot of people in the hospital that year. So
oh my god.
You know what I mean? So the NFL for the black culture was not fucking with the NFL based on that Colin Kaepernick shit.
Yeah.
Drake at the time, still beloved by black people the world over. Mm-hmm. He could not have performed that Super Bowl even if they asked him to do it at that time. Everybody was turning Rihanna turned the Super Bowl down at that time.
You're saying it was very radioactive.
It was not a good. Travis Scott did not play the Super Bowl at that time. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, people were not playing the Super Bowl.
Right.
Which is why the NFL had to go get Rock Nation.
Right.
To figure this out. Mm-hmm. Right? And how did they do it? They did J-Lo and Shakira. Because they needed somebody. Mm-hmm. Right? And then I think The Weeknd, either The Weeknd or Bruno Mars or somebody. It was The Weeknd, I think. One of them niggas, right? Did it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think we had Bad Girl Riri.
Yes.
And we had Usher.
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre and then Usher.
Yeah.
So they've done it 5 times.
Yeah.
Right? Dr. Dre and then Usher. And what happened, because we were on the boycott. We were like, fuck the NFL. I was literally playing fantasy football off of stats. I was not watching no NFL games. I was just looking like, okay, he's averaging 15. Like, that's how I was playing fantasy football. I was not watching no games.
Oh, shit.
Okay? So that ratings are, Dez Bryant was like, shit, nigga, I got to get my money. I can't be fucking kneeling out here, right? Like, this is how these niggas was doing out here.
Well, that was what was going on.
That's what was going on.
That's what was going on.
But let me tell you what changed. Because you asked me a question. You was like, we was like, fuck the NFL, nigga. And I was like, yeah, we was.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what changed for me.
What?
Colin Kaepernick wanted to go back to the NFL. He was like, I still want to play. Nigga got paid. And he was like, I still want to play.
I said, well, I still want to play.
And I was like, well, shit, nigga, I can't be madder at the NFL than you are. They did you wrong.
Right.
And Colin Kaepernick with that switch opened the gates for niggas to be like, okay, well, I guess we can watch NFL games again. And then,
but at that point, were we still holding on to Colin Kaepernick's opinion?
Yeah, no, I mean,
the NFL.
Look, the NFL, they were really serious. They put in racism in the touchdowns, and that was really important for us. I'm being facetious, by the way. So
here's my other thing is that, of course, going back and thinking about 2020, of course, a lot of people felt this way, and a lot of people were mobilized to be like, nah, we're boycotting the NFL. I'm not supporting the NFL. Because we had more time to care. We had more time to care.
We had all the time.
We had all the time to care, and then fucking the world opened back up, and everyone was like,
You fuck
I'm
about
so
this.
mad.
Yeah.
You want to go to the game?
Also,
we should go to the game.
you know
We
what
should go
else?
to the game.
You know what else happened?
What?
BLM, the organization, started fucking up real hard.
Yeah.
Fucking keeping the money and buying houses and
You
shit.
buying houses on
like
the books,
we was
man?
like,
What are we doing?
all right, nigga, look, I have a BLM sweater that to this day I actually love it. The sweater is fucking hard.
Right.
I can't even wear it. I don't even fucking wear that motherfucker.
Right,
I'm just
right,
like,
right.
man, you know.
It's more of the ideal.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more,
like
yeah,
that,
but
like
I'm not
actual-
gonna rep BLM.
Yeah.
I'll put that motherfucker on in the house. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna be out here wearing it all that much.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, BLM was fucking up as an organization.
Right.
I still believe in the movement. I still believe Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
I still believe all of that, but all of that controversy on what was going on.
Yeah.
It kind of just made people. I can't speak for people. It made me feel like, you know what? If Colin wants to be back in the league, I can't be madder at.
Right.
I can't be madder than the person the shit happened to.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So if he's forgiven NFL,
Yeah.
I'm a 49ers fan. They were doing very well. It was very hard for me to
Yeah.
walk away from this.
Yeah.
After Colin Kaepernick had forgiven them, I was
There
like,
you go.
okay, well, shit. I guess I'll watch.
Guess I'll-
I also developed a different feeling about corporate America in general.
Yeah.
I remember I was having a conversation with one of my bosses. This was years ago,
Yeah.
and we were talking about slavery.
Oh.
Don't ask me how this conversation started.
This is already bad.
Yeah, it's all bad.
Corporate,
It's
and
all bad.
you're talking
Yeah.
about slavery.
Hey, if you ask me, I'm
Was your
fucking
boss white?
British, by the way.
Oh.
So yes, the original whites.
Wow.
So
That's a different kind of white.
yeah, it's,
I don't know if you ever.
it's very exquisite, pure kind of white.
It's that pure cocaine.
Yeah,
That's crazy, bro. That's
China
crazy.
white de bloom. So yeah, so we're talking about it, and he was like, "But Ryan, you drive BMWs," and I'm like, "Okay. First of all, let me know when there's a all black car maker.
Yeah.
That's the only car I'm buying. Let me know, LA. I could probably look this up because I'm sure there are some.
What?
Black banks. I would do it. If I could get my home loans and my business loans and my loans and you know what I mean?
loans,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Credit cards and all other shit
Yeah.
that we do in this financial system where it's all black, then have that criticism for me. But you know, we were just becoming the cancel boycott people, just like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, the CEO picked his nose and then fucking put his hands in the Chipotle meat. No, you know what I mean? Like boycott Tide. And I'm like, nigga, I gotta wash my clothes. What the fuck is you talking about? Like, I'm not about to boycott Tide, right?
Boycott Tide.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is
Oh.
like, you know? And so I started having this thing like, look, these corporations aren't going nowhere. Plus, you don't know how much of a conglomerate these corporations own. And some of these larger corporations that you want to boycott own shit that you buy, but you don't know that it's attached to the brand because the brands are different.
When we have to get into Nestle,
You know what I'm saying?
Nestle own half the world.
Yeah, you
Have
know what
ever
I'm
seen
saying? They own the chocolate, the water, like, you know what I mean?
chocolate, the water, the toilet paper.
Toilet
you
paper, you know what I mean?
crazy.
So it's just, so when you start getting into these games on who we're going to cancel and not consume, I'm just like, it's impossible. They've made my life a point where I have to consume.
Right.
I work for one corporation.
Yeah.
I buy products for another, the fucking competing corporation.
There you go, man.
Like there's nothing I can do about this. And so when I circle back to the NFL, I was like, you know, I'm being kind of fraudulent here because my life is not set up where I could just be boycotting a gang of shit that I don't believe in. So just to be true to myself, fuck it. Like, you know, man, corporate America got me by the balls. So they just got me.
So I guess to go back to the way that you brought this all up,
Yeah.
I don't feel like that feeling lasted as long as you're saying. So if Drake was being offered the halftime show in 2020, 2021, I think, you know, there was a chance for him to have done it in 21 or 22 where...
Yeah. So
okay, optically,
the Rihanna one is probably the
got out
one.
enough from the Colin Kaepernick thing to where, okay, I'm not going to ruffle any feathers on my fan base. I can do this.
He could have got the Rihanna one, but it was Rihanna. So,
Yeah.
you know. And then he could have got the Dre one, but it was Dre.
I mean,
Yeah, so
I don't
I'm
know.
like,
I don't know.
I-
Yeah, I guess.
to the point I was making earlier about your corporate connections.
Right.
So word on the street, Drake's fucking Jack Dorsey's ex or whatever.
Who who is he?
Okay. So I was watching JBP.
Yeah.
Okay, and they were having this conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, and the conversation was actually pissing me off
What?
because on one side of the set, they were like, "Why ain't we talking about the girl and why aren't we holding the girl accountable?" And on
Yeah.
the other side of the set, they were saying they were talking about having discernment.
Right.
And you and I talked about this
Yes.
because if Spotify wants to buy this podcast, right, or whoever,
Yeah.
you know, if they came and they wanted us to join their network, whoever, insert whatever here, there's no way I would walk in that room or be at a party or whatever the situation was where people I was trying to get money with or
Right.
from
Right.
and think like, I'm going to fuck their girl.
Yeah.
It's not a thing that I would think
Like, what are we
about.
doing, bruh? Like, what are you even thinking? You thinking that's the power play? Of
Yeah.
all the power plays you could have made.
So,
Like, I'm gonna fuck
so
his girl.
should the
I'm gonna
girl,
fuck his girl.
should the women be held accountable for their own actions? Absolutely, like that. But we're having two separate conversations.
Yeah.
Yes, the girl, but you don't know who Jack Dorsey talks to. You don't know who calls Jack Dorsey for information, right? And this goes back to that point I was making about corporations suppressing Drake,
Right.
right? And raising Kendrick up to a level. Because you don't get Not Like Us onto the charts without a lot of money being behind it,
Oh, for sure. Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so we don't know. Jack Dorsey's in the room like, hey, we're thinking about Lil Wayne doing the Super Bowl. And he goes, Lil Wayne, like Drake and Lil Wayne? Yeah. No. You shouldn't do that.
It came into his head and he was like,
Right?
no.
No. I'm not saying that happened. I'm just spitballing hypotheticals.
We're also not saying that like Jack Dorsey like cared about that woman that much.
He may
right?
he may
might
not
have-
have cared not one
That
bit
was
about
just his
that
slide,
woman. He might,
but he saw Drake and he was like, Drake decided to do this, and
I can't trust that man.
yeah, I can't trust. You.
Can't
I
trust
can't
that
trust
man
as far
because you
as I
gonna
can tell
come
you.
and you gonna come and try and take. Hey, fucked on Wayne girls. He's in jail. That's conniving.
That's conniving.
You know what I mean? So, and I think when we start talking about these relationships, whether he could have played the Super Bowl, whether he did or not,
Right.
Rock Nation is saying we never offered Drake the Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay, the NFL also came out and said that was a blatant lie.
Yeah.
Bloomberg reported that.
Yeah.
So who do you believe? Elliott Wilson and his sources, Maul, or Rock Nation in the NFL? I don't know. I don't know who you're supposed to believe.
I don't know.
But I will say it is getting harder. Like, we still haven't gotten to the bottom of why everybody is against Drake.
Right.
There was a 20v1 narrative, but I'm like, Kendrick is affiliated to TDE, which eventually becomes UMG
Right.
via Interscope,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And UMG is signing off on calling Drake a pedophile.
Yeah, why don't we make all our money this summer off of calling our biggest artist
act
a pedophile?
like the PDF allegation thing. We're not saying Drake is. This is not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
what
we're
I'm
not
saying
saying-
is this is weird that UMG allowed this shit to fly off and
Right.
allowed this record to reach number one
Yeah.
on the charts for a couple weeks, be top 10 for like 18 weeks.
Right.
They were playing this shit after an Olympic win.
I heard that shit in the middle of the fucking finals for the NBA.
Like, this shit had some motion.
I was like, yo, this is
This
crazy.
is fucking wild.
It's crazy.
This is fucking wild. And all I'm trying to say is I could see scenarios where Drake did turn down the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I can also see a scenario where nobody asked this nigga to do the Super Bowl at all ever.
Oh.
So it's very Trumpian where he's like, I've played all the Super Bowls. I was asked hundreds of times. I've turned down the Super Bowl 100 times. Like, there's only been 50 Super Bowls or whatever the fuck we're talking.
relax,
Like, the fuck are you talking about? That's the feel Maul had when
He's turned down all the Super Bowls.
he's turning down all the Super Bowls. Because the Super Bowl, I'm bigger than the Super Bowl.